Outspark closes, RaiderZ announces a new expansion, Scarlet Blade reveals PvP details, and more on this week's episode of Free-to-Play Weekly. Outspark, publishers of games such as Fiesta, Lavinia, and the recently closed Darkblood, surprised everyone late last week when fans visiting Fiesta's official site were greeted with a welcome message from Gamigo instead. Gamigo, a normally European-focused publisher and the ones responsible for publishing Outspark's Fiesta in Europe, are now apparently responsible for both versions. An Outspark PR message later confirmed the transition and stated that the company had officially closed up shop and would cease to operate. Gamigo reassured Fiesta players in the welcome message by letting them know that almost nothing will change and only a small upcoming client patch is needed to make their transition official. Those who had Spark Cash will be happy to hear Gamigo has transferred the currency and made it available to use in all their other North American games. Right now, Fiesta is the only Outspark game getting a new home, with no further details given concerning the reason for the closure or the future of other Outspark titles. Better late than never, Dragon Nest has finally announced the start of its closed beta. The news comes a full year and a half after the North American release, whose access was restricted for many due to IP blocks. Now, Dragon Nest's European publishers eFusion have announced a massive amount of keys have headed out to players, with more potential keys for those who visit the site starting this week. If you happen to get into the closed beta, you may be happy to hear that eFusion has promised no database wipes on all characters during the closed beta test if the server hits 8,000 concurrent players. Players will have until the game's official release on March 6th to meet the challenge. Do you think the European version of Dragon Nest can expect the same popularity as the North American release? Not to be outdone by Terra's conversion to free-to-play, RaiderZ has broken its silence and revealed its upcoming expansion named Broken Silence. You see what I did there? Broken its silent, broken, because the expansion's name is Broken, never mind. The new expansion details are slim, but what we do know so far is that it will include everything you would expect an expansion to include. This means an increased level cap from 35 to 40, new zones and areas to explore, new dungeons, an updated PvP battle arena system, new epic boss monsters, and of course, new items to craft, collect, and equip. Now that Terra has entered the fray, which action MMO do you prefer more, Terra or RaiderZ? After a month-long Kickstarter, Akanehiro Demon Hunters has emerged victorious in their quest to raise $200,000 in order to provide features such as co-op gameplay, crafting, Linux support, as well as iOS and Android versions of the action RPG. Undoubtedly, the most important thing we can glean from this news is the fact that Akanehiro will indeed have multiplayer support. Prior to the Kickstarter, Spicy Horse Games was unsure whether or not they'd be able to include co-op in a timely manner after release. But now with Akanehiro safely funded, players will be able to enjoy the action RPG with their friends as opposed to just with their offline NPC counterparts. Despite the Kickstarter success, we actually don't have any idea when the additional features are set to be implemented, and when questioned, American McGee, CEO of Spicy Horse Games, stated the following. Over the coming weeks, we'll be taking a look at what it takes to implement these features and get them out in a timely manner. We also still have contributions coming in on the PayPal page, which may influence which features wind up where on the plan. Despite the Kickstarter just finishing, the game has already officially launched. If you're interested in trying out the game, you can head on over to Spicy Horse's official site now. Area Games teased players last week with more than just PvP details for their upcoming mature-themed MMORPG Scarlet Blade. A new trailer simply called NSFW shows scantily clad women masked in loads of filters and lens flare for a few seconds before immediately pulling a gotcha moment and switching to PvP gameplay footage. The trailer explains that NSFW really meant not safe for wimps. Oh, how foolish of us to think otherwise. When it comes to the PvP details themselves, we learned that Scarlet Blade will offer several PvP modes at launch, with more scheduled soon after. While 1v1 duels will be a common sight, Scarlet Blade's main PvP draw will come in the form of open-world PvP zones, where players can group up to battle gigantic bosses that drop valuable loot. Both of the game's factions will be tasked with competing for the kill, undoubtedly setting the stage for a flurry of frantic clashes and corpse running. For those looking to just PvP, Scarlet Blade will have you covered, in the form of two unique battlefields which pit 30v30 and 80v80. Players can expect an even larger PvP boss zone, more battlefields, and a new 6v6 arena mode in the game's first major content update post-launch. Those that enjoy PvPing will be rewarded with rank points and enemy player dog tags, which can be traded in for items, unique emotes, and PvP exclusive gear. And the game of the week is Totem. Totem is a 3D browser-based real-time strategy game where players can choose from one of 3 races and build their very own custom army. Each race offers a unique perspective on the battlefield, with the brutish orcs favoring up-close and personal attacks, while a mystical tribe called the Tula'an utilize their mastery of natural powers instead. A player's army can be equipped with a variety of customizable units, each with their own strengths and weaknesses, as well as the ability to be combined with other units to form new, more powerful and rare units. Traditional unit roles can even be thrown out the window by boosting specific stats to turn things like a simple squishy mage into a frontline bruiser with supportive spells. Totem offers players a host of PvE and PvP modes for those seeking a variety of challenges at all skill levels. Those interested in PvE can progress through a single-player campaign along with scenarios, while PvP players can enjoy an arena mode in either 1v1 or 2v2 battles. If you're looking for an RTS with a high focus on strategic micromanagement and army customization, then be sure to check out Totem. That's all we have for you this week, but as always, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe, like, and leave us a comment below. And until next week, check out MMOBomb.com for more free-to-play action.